morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock, and it's time for Severe Lack of Talent. I am Tim Pohanka, and I am joined with people who think that the seventh inning stretch is a yoga pose. Welcome to the show.
It wasn't me.
Okay, that might have been the best one yet.
All right, welcome to the show.
I'm Devlin Riley.
Robbie Perry. Nick Hall.
All right, everybody, and hopefully you guys are ready to have some fun. We had a great week in sports-ish for some people. Some people not so
Well, it was
good.
eventful, at least.
It was
Yeah.
eventful.
Yeah, it was eventful.
We've got a lot of interesting things that are going on, and we got a good goats and good scapes. So I think we'll start off with Devlin.
All right, so this week I actually kept going back and forth with my goat, but I'm going to go with the Lightning team, but also the coach of the Lightning team, John Cooper. They did a little article on him just talking about how he shows vulnerability and emotion, even though it's a sport that people are just usually, I don't know what guys do, ooh, we won, but he gets down to the depths and gives people the credit and shows emotion all throughout the game. I mean, he had, 5 overtimes, and he was refusing food during the breaks because he didn't want to throw off. Y'all are so crazy, especially you, with your rituals and the day of games and what you think is going to throw it off. But yeah, there was a salad with some, nice meaty salad that someone wanted to give to him, and he wouldn't eat it during 7 hours, I think, of playing.
Superstitions are real.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They're real. I mean,
No, I
superstitions
don't
are real.
believe it. I don't believe in
Bobby
anything
won't cut
anymore.
his hair.
Yeah.
He shouldn't cut his hair.
They won the game, though, right?
Yeah.
They did. They
it's
won the
only
game.
weird.
So it worked.
It's only weird if it doesn't work.
I mean, if you're shanking the ball in golf, you got to take your money from your right pocket, put it in the left pocket. It all works.
Yeah.
I like the passion because I felt I would have seen that before COVID. So I give them the GOAT because I just thought there was it got me a little excited. So.
Okay, well, I mean,
And
anytime you go into 5 overtimes, I mean,
right?
that's-
And
Yeah.
played with that intensity. I think it got you guys excited, right?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
All right.
It's long.
So I know, right? It's yeah. Well, my scape last week, we did talk about the Wizards sucking. Well, my scape this week.
wait. Are you sure that's what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure because.
Good for them for somehow wiggling their way in, but they suck. Granted, they didn't have their top 10 players, but I heard some high
Their
school.
top 10 players.
They didn't have.
They have 2 players. I mean, the rest of the teams. They just suck.
They just suck.
Okay.
Anyways, the Celtics lost to them this week. So they suck, and they're my escape. My escape. For making fun of me for that.
Throwing so much shade. Such a
I'm so
ricochet
grumpy.
shot.
Oh my God.
Ricochet shot.
So we just lost all of Boston.
Yeah.
No. But
So the
you guys are my escape.
So,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, the game was pretty close. They did a couple victory laps.
Confetti was coming
they're done
down.
now.
That is the most creative escape ever. It's finding a way to still make fun of the Wizards 2 weeks in a row. Like choosing the Celtics.
It'd be really interesting to go and look at the box score if the Celtics players, because they probably already had their seed lined up. So how many players
that's also
actually
true.
played?
Right.
How many
Make
of their
excuses.
stars?
Make
get-
excuses.
Difficulty, but hey, this show knows how to rebound.
The show
Like
must
the
go-
Wizards.
Oh, just got that rebound.
Got
Let's
the rebound,
go.
exactly. Like Dennis Rodman, we can rebound. So
The show goes on, right?
Show must go on.
Show must go on. Exactly. We gotta get a like that. Well, just to let you guys know, one person that we have to give credit to is behind the camera is Shandell, and
Yeah.
she's the one that actually makes the show possible. And she's back there trying to keep everything rocking and rolling. So let's give our go to Shandell. Hey everybody, we're back. Take 3 because our technical difficulties. So if it sounds a little muffled, we're going to go with our backup soundboard. So we're in good shape though. But we're playing like the Wizards.
No, actually not because they won. This
So we're
time
playing
was the
like the
Celtics.
Celtics.
Yes.
We're playing like the Celtics,
This
all
week
right.
we're playing like the Celtics. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Perry.
All right. Well, I guess my honorary skate would be the mics so far. So I'm gonna start with I'll go with my GOAT. So my GOAT is actually the Dallas Cowboys. The majority of the Cowboys team are taking upon themselves, taking the responsibility to create their own bubble next to the practice facility. So it's not like the Dallas Cowboys are mandating, hey, we're going to do a bubble, we're going to go to this hotel, we're going to do that. That's what the Seattle Seahawks are doing. But the Cowboys are actually a majority of the players, coaches, and staff are staying. And now this is, it's not this huge, it's not like woe is me, but they are staying in a 5-star hotel next to the practice facilities, connected.
Wow.
And that hotel is actually, the reason why it makes it so easy is because it has everything they need. It's connected. It has the food, the workout, the rehab facilities. So they're actually staying there, rehabbing before their practice, their official first practice, which starts today.
That's interesting. Like, why can't all the teams just do that then? That's feasible for every team to be able to do that.
I will throw this out there. If there's one team that knows they have to take it seriously, it is the Cowboys. If you guys remember just a few months back, the Cowboys are the team that COVID had hit very first in the NFL.
True.
Went through the entire team. So they know how one case can spread so quickly. So they know the severity of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's an extra push probably to them more than anybody else.
For sure.
To really get this together and take it way
They
more
are
serious.
aware of how serious it can
And
be.
I think it shows. I think a lot of teams in the NFL, a lot of players in the NFL, are taking this pretty seriously. I mean, no one realizes just how fleeting an NFL career is than the NFL players. I mean, what's the average career span? Is it
2.5 years?
Yeah, I think 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
So if they miss one season,
Next man up.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You might not have the luxury of having like a really nice hotel. Like it's a 5-star hotel. It's literally connected to the practice facility. So
Build one. You saw what China did
Yeah.
when COVID hit. They built medical facilities.
Time out. That hospital
Build one.
fell
Okay, whatever.
on
Build
people
it. Build
while
it.
they were in it.
Build it, they will
All
come.
right, I did not hear that, but still build it. They could do something.
That's what
We
they
would
should
do
Let's-
better with this construction, but it can be done.
I'd say bring them all in little Winnies, man. They all have like their own little Airstreams at the Cowboys.
Yeah,
They get paid stars on the side.
I'm going to challenge you.
Build
You
a
can
hotel.
take a hotel and turn it into one, renovate one. That's right there. That's
Devlin's going to be on Google Earth now, going to all these practice facilities,
Next
hit
week.
nearby to find out. Oh yeah, there is
right there.
There
Is a closed down Kmart.
I don't
Renovate it.
Motel 6, they can do it right there.
Yeah, well, they'll keep the lights on for them. They'll be fine. Besides, they played crappy last year. They don't need a better.
They don't need it. They don't need it.
If it falls, it falls.
Yeah.
Okay, so my scapegoat is. So you guys remember before the NBA bubble how everyone was talking about Zion Williamson? He's been working out at the facility.
Yeah.
He's been
Yeah.
rehabbing. He's
Yeah.
in the best shape of his life. Well, he showed up fat to the bubble. He showed up overweight again. He showed up out of shape. And so now he came out and he said, okay, this is finally my time to get my body right. What were you doing for 4 months?
Yeah.
You're the
Well, I
only
mean, all
thing
the
you could have
reports
been.
said that he was doing fine.
He showed up at this whole, and he came out and he said, I'm going to take my I'm going to talk to my player development coaches as well, see what I need to do better from their point of view. I need to work on part of my game and get my body where it needs to be. Then they asked him, okay, what does that mean? He says, we're going to sit down, see what they needed me to do better, and then I can get you a better answer.
Jamarcus Russell.
I mean,
Yeah. Yes.
And
Yeah,
he's like, oh,
It's
so
scary, man. The amount of talent he has and the body that he could have. And you know what's funny? Tim, you actually just mentioned this. Like all the reports didn't say he's doing fine. All these reports said that he is showing up
He's
like
just
a
at the
monster.
facility, yeah.
He's showing up like he is going to just in a different physical form. What happened?
You know,
What
maybe
happened?
they were talking about
mean-
like eating someone or
Yeah,
like on the
like,
bench press
quite
or
literally
something.
a monster?
Yeah.
what did you
Shrek?
say? What did you just say?
Maybe like eating someone, like, oh, he's a monster, he's gonna eat someone.
Like
He looks so big.
Straight
Yeah.
up Shrek.
Look, sometimes people like to put more obstacles in their way. Give him a couple. Let's see what he does.
Oh, well,
We need to update.
But you got to remember, he came in like a lion, hurt his knee right away,
Yep.
and then it's been. I mean,
I've
it's.
got
He came in
sympathy for that.
overweight.
He's
Unfortunately, he's-
teetering on this slope right now. If
Yeah.
he doesn't get his act together quickly, an example of you saying Jamarcus Russell is actually a great example. The amount of potential that he had that he threw away because you know what? He, in my opinion, he got complacent.
Yeah.
He got complacent.
Yeah.
Thought that he was the best. Well, guess what? You're not the best unless you keep doing what you've been doing to become the best.
Sure. And now I don't think Zion. Obviously, I don't think he has character issues. I don't
No.
think Jamarcus Russell. It came out that he was addicted to purple drink, and he had some other issues. But he was also lazy in the weight room, and I
Yes.
think that's where Zion is. Just lay off a couple cheeseburgers, get back in the weight room. But that being said, I mean, this was your rookie year.
Yeah.
This was your chance. LeBron James, sometimes he drives me crazy, but his
Don't talk bad about my man.
work ethic is never in question,
Never.
No,
It's
that's
old is he
never
now?
in question.
30,
34? 34, 35, somewhere in there.
I mean, we keep in mind he came out of high school. So,
Yeah.
I know,
so
but
we've had him forever. So.
he's never stopped.
In a good way.
Yeah.
No,
He
has. Look, there's very few people whose drive to win
Right.
is more impressive than people like LeBron or Michael Jordan or
Yeah.
Peyton Manning.
And working on his personal craft, and
Right.
that includes not just learning. Okay, I'm going to work on my jump shot. I'm going to work on this, but it's like basketball is a high conditioned sport.
Oh, for
especially
sure.
what they want Zion to be.
Right.
They want Zion to be LeBron James that could play any position. If he needs to step in at point guard, he can step in at point guard, but you gotta be in shape, man.
They need to bring somebody in. Some people have that skill, that
A leader.
I could take that. I could take it on myself.
Yeah.
Skill like LeBron.
Yeah.
Some people need a leader, to your point, to step in and help them. And I mean, Ovechkin did not become the man, the great teammate that he was until they brought in some other people to really lead him.
Give him a nudge, yeah.
Maybe they need to look at bringing in somebody to help him because
Maybe, yeah.
it's a tough deal.
I like Zion, so I'm rooting for him. But I'm just saying, you had 4 months. They were the reports before the bubble. He was coming in every day, rehabbing, working out. So when you're under a microscope like that, usually you excel and do really well. Well,
how much time passed that where they didn't get to work out then before he reported? I mean,
maybe he was like really out of shape.
Maybe he just sat there and said, "Did he hit the all-you-can-eat buffet at Burger
True.
King or
Maybe he
something? I don't
actually
know.
did get in great
That's
shape
hard, man.
considering how. I don't know.
Yeah,
But you see
that's-
LeBron James showing up for the bubble, and he looks like he's in better shape than he's ever been.
But again,
Then
he's
season
the
stopped.
guy who wants to. I mean,
Yeah.
keep in mind his goal. He's got paid. He has gotten paid.
Yeah.
There is no question about the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He has generational wealth.
Right.
Okay.
Generational. for sure.
Generational wealth.
Now he's doing this because he
And
loves
now, and so the same thing.
But that's the thing. Zion hasn't even gotten paid yet.
I mean,
yeah, he's the number one. He was the number
He
one.
got paid that
but he
money,
didn't
but I
get
mean,
paid
the big
$120 million.
Yeah,
max contract.
Maybe he's just having that young. Oh my God, I got some cash, and that's going on.
Well, he was getting cash at Duke. Let's
Let's
be real.
I got real dollars, not Duke dollars. All right, what do you got for us?
All right, I got two good
All
ones
right,
this week.
all
All right. I got two good ones this week. My GOAT for the week is NFL tight ends. Okay, this is I think that
On the heels of your tattoo.
Tight ends. Yes, you gotta give some love for the big attractive guys with good hands. I represent.
Oh, okay.
I represent that group of people. I mean, I am tight end.
Big attractive guys.
With good hands.
Good hands.
Okay.
Good hands.
Okay.
Good hands. I'm
Somebody's full of himself.
I
today.
love great hands. Great hands.
Great. How'd you get on this show then?
Yeah. the big. I'm actually a really big attractive guy, so it didn't work out.
Oh, okay.
But no. Some big news for tight ends. Some record-breaking news for tight ends. If you guys have been following. A few weeks ago, Austin Hooper signed as an unrestricted free agent with the Cleveland Browns. When he did that, they signed him for $10.6 million. That's a huge contract for a tight end. They're just not a position like a receiver, running back, quarterback that usually makes that type of per season money. So going on forward to this past week now. Travis Kelce for the Chiefs, one of the biggest names in football right now, got paid. A little over $14 million a year for the Chiefs, a huge deal for a tight end. And not to be outdone, George Kittle, who in my opinion is the best current tight end, just because Rob Gronkowski took off the season. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Paid over $15 million for the 49ers a year, starting next year now, signed an extension with the 49ers. This is huge news. Hunter Henry actually has a contract coming up at the end of this next year, who's another great tight end. Zach Ertz, contract is coming up in either a year or two, which means that he's going to be in the negotiations for possibly re-signing. So those are two people that are going to benefit more than anybody else because of these tight ends, because they are considered elite I don't think Zach Ertz is as good as Zach Ertz thinks Zach Ertz is. I think that I don't know if you guys saw the article that came out where he kind of blasted Madden for being ranked like the 5th or 6th best tight end, which is still incredible.
He blasted the top 100 NFL athletes, and he was like 80th, and he was like really, really offended. That he's right there.
Zach Ertz is very good. He's not that good.
No.
He's not that good. He actually made it sound like on Madden that he should be 1 or 2. He's not better than Kelsey or Kittle right now. There was a time where he was. That his prime is on. He's on the other end, but still room to get paid. So I think big news for the sport of football, for the position of tight end especially. It's a position that doesn't get a ton of love.
Historically, they've been very underpaid.
Yes.
Maybe because there have always only been like couple good tight ends, but it's always been odd to me why they don't get paid those really good tight ends. If you look at good left tackles, good quarterbacks, they get good wide receivers, they get paid. So why the tight end, especially how the game has evolved, why are the tight ends not getting paid? So like you said, I think it's kind of the finally coming out party, like, okay, this is what the money we're getting type of thing.
And I'll say it, they deserve wide receiver money.
Yeah.
They deserve wide receiver money.
Oh,
the
yeah.
workload that they do and the changes that they have in a game. So good for the position of tight end. Really good news for the people who are tight ends at the elite level that their contracts are coming up in the next year or two. Because every contract that signs sets a precedent for the next contract to be signed. That's why you always are seeing every year after year Patrick Mahomes setting a new record for the biggest contract. Just wait. Give it a year or two. There will be another one that beats
here's the
Patrick
question.
Mahomes.
100%.
So where's that money? Who's not getting paid? So when you start to look at when you look at the positions that are starting to get more money, where is that money coming from?
So there is a salary cap in NFL. So I mean, I think it always depends on the makeup of your team. I don't know how the Chiefs, with that in mind, with all of that being said, I don't know how the Chiefs are going to pay Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and then expect to pay Tyreek Hill when his contract comes up,
I don't,
6 other players that contributed to the Super Bowl.
And I don't know what they do because, the Chiefs are in technical salary cap hell. They had a couple $100 left in salary cap after they won the Super Bowl, and somehow they're extending all these. So I don't know what they're doing. The Saints have been in the negative for 6-7 years. So maybe the salary cap, it's a big deal. Maybe it's not as big of a deal in the NFL as we make it up to be. Maybe they just keep on just push the contracts back and back and back.
It's not like
I don't
basketball where their salary cap is in jello.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at, there are positions that are becoming almost
obsolete.
Not obsolete, but you're not seeing the big money. I mean, if you look at
you let them walk, you just draft.
Running backs,
yeah,
they don't care.
Great comment on the live feed right now. Gordon Duncan says that tight ends are in so demand. Even older tight ends like Jason Witten are able to still get contracts. Yep. He's right.
Yeah.
Jason Witten just signed with the Raiders.
Rob Gronkowski.
Gronkowski, you can't really consider. Man, if Gronkowski comes back playing the way that he was playing when he left the sport, sport better watch out. The Buccaneers. That's a game changer for the Buccaneers.
But when you look at Rob Gronkowski was so good. He was the best blocking tight end, the best receiving tight end, and he was criminally underpaid.
Isn't that the motto of the Patriots?
I don't think.
It's just the tight ends would take it.
But I think that when you're working with a guy like Tom Brady, and you're on a team that wins. If you're not playing for a winning team, your name's not going to get out there. That's where that problem comes in.
Yeah.
So I think I would take less money to play with a team.
Oh, for sure.
That's going to win.
You know who was the highest paid tight end before he was indefinitely suspended by the league was Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez
was the highest paid
yeah.
tight end in the league.
I just think professional athletes just get paid too much in general. I think it's disgusting.
Wow.
I know. That's why I just.
We'll take capitalism.
Yeah.
I get it.
People get paid where the money is generated.
Yeah. I just think it's disgusting.
That's why the WNBA does. They don't get money.
So they don't get paid.
I'm gonna kick you right here, right now.
When you look at the level of compensation in professional sports, the problem that it brings on is that when you're looking at people thinking that that's who they're going to be,
right,
and they can't achieve that, it is a major letdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, All right, who do you got for us?
Oh, we're still on you, Nick?
Scape-
Jeez.
Scapegoat of the week. This is a good one. I think it's a topic starter because I think that everybody has mentioned it. So I'm just going to start it. I don't even know where you guys fall on this topic, but I'm going to claim the beginning of this discussion. We're going to college football with all the craziness that's happened in this past week. My scape this week to start the discussion is Scott Frost and Nebraska football. The reason that they are my scape this week is because Nebraska, who, Tim, we talked about this, in my opinion, completely irrelevant. A team that my alma mater, the Tennessee Volunteers, had no problem beating up on in a bowl game. Nebraska is irrelevant. I'm going to throw that out there. And this week, as you guys may know, the Pac-12 and the Big Ten have both announced that they will not play fall seasons of football and pushing it to the spring. We can talk about that here a little bit as well. But with them pushing it back to the spring, Nebraska's up in arms about it. And right before the season was canceled for them, the fall season, of course, they said that we have no problem leaving the Big Ten in order to go join another conference to play a fall football schedule and threatened to leave. Well,
let's keep in mind, they threatened to move their football program.
Yes.
And then the league came back and said, well, if one goes,
they all go. Well, I'm going to take it a step further. Well, but the rest of the sports world. A ton of high-ranking Big Ten alumni and people that speak out on sports are now saying, you know what? Call them on their bluff, kick them out. They don't even help the Big Ten anyways.
But why do you think they're doing it?
Why do I think that they're doing it?
Yeah.
You know, I don't actually know how to rationalize that. Maybe it really is just to keep yourself relevant right now.
No, what if it's just the desperation to just play?
Well, there's a great article that came out that said that the reason why they're doing that is because they are irrelevant, and they're trying to make themselves relevant again by being supporters, by getting recruits, by letting the players know they want to play. I mean, look, at some point in time, if they say, hey, we're going to go independent or we're not going to play, yeah, we're going to go out and find. No one's picking you up.
No one's picking you up.
No one's going to pick you up.
But do you not think they're doing it to get the athletes to play, to do it for the fans, to do it for the passion of the game?
And to go against your conference and do that?
So
Sure.
this is
if they want to do that,
this is
fine.
my thing.
It's a good point, but you have to be a Notre Dame to be able to do that. You have
Y'all
to
were
be
just
an
talking
Alabama.
crap about Notre Dame last week, so don't say.
No, they're not good. Doesn't mean they're not in high demand.
I
Notre
understand.
Dame. You
I
have to be
understand.
Alabama.
Yeah.
You have to be a team that brings fans no matter where you are in the
Right.
country, and you have to have a pedigree that says that you're really good.
So you're saying they have nothing to lose then?
So
Getting kicked out of the Big Ten?
No, they have everything to
No,
lose.
they only have stuff to lose.
One of my goats before the Cowboys was going to be Nebraska, because the reason why is it came from the football coach and the football team. And the last thing that, when I want my coach and what I want for my team is I want them to be in the business of playing football. Mm-hmm. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to play football. So the Big Ten, out of his control, they want to play. They said, okay, we're not playing football. So for me, what I would do, especially when I'm looking at my guys, I would say, we're going to play football. Now, Nebraska sucks. Big Ten saved Nebraska a couple years ago when they were, going out of the Big 12. I get that there's that issue. But when it comes down, you're a football team, you're a football coach, you want to play football. Politics be damned. I'm sorry. Now, obviously, the Nebraska president came out, sent an email to the season ticket holders and said, we are committed to Big Ten, but because all the money that they're getting. So obviously, money pays. They completely stepped down for everything. But I want that from my coach. I want if the powers that be cancel the season, I want to be like, hey, we want to play. We are ready. We want to play. We want to do everything.
That was what
he was going to be my GOAT, even though it's Nebraska. Like you said, they're not going to win. But I want that we're going to do whatever we want to do to play. Now, of course, the president came out and said that's not happening.
Right.
Shut him down. But I need that for my coach. I don't need, hey, we're going to play this political game with Big Ten, with football. I want to say, hey, we want to play. And then obviously their president didn't call his bluff. He said, no, forget it, we're not doing this type thing.
Well, I think it may have started out as a, hey, we want to play. We're just going to go. Then we won't
I'm
play.
not denying they wanted attention.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that, but I think the root of it was the passion.
I mean, it can be, but you got to be careful. Sometimes your
know.
passion
Yeah.
Well, you're also men, and y'all don't think about your consequences.
I don't think.
Oh yeah, we do.
I don't
Afterwards.
think that. I don't think that Nebraska is not my escape for wanting to play football.
Right.
Every other team out there has already said when it's time to play, we are ready.
Right.
They are all saying that, and that's what. But as your football coach, would you be happy with your coach if you're threatening to do something to take you out of the Big Ten, knowing damn well that, knowing very well that there is no chance you get into another major conference?
If I was
Unless
a
it's the Big
senior,
12, if you might consider it a major conference.
If I had my ducks in a row, where
Right.
I knew, okay, we've got 10 other teams or 5 other teams or 6 other teams that are decent enough, that are willing to put together a schedule where my players could play, where we could get some sort of
Right.
TV contract, where they could showcase their talents so they could get, move on to the NFL if they needed to. If you're looking at for your whole players, if you had that plan, maybe.
He hasn't had time to
Yeah,
make
But
that
especially
plan.
to not
seniors.
back down
Yeah.
from that. But to
Right.
not back down from that when the conference tells you if you leave this year, you're leaving. Period.
Well, then you have to
And
back
I-
down. Your bluff is
But
called.
he did.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah,
he,
and
he
I-
didn't, and that is where that's risking not just your current players. That's risking your next generation of Nebraska football players.
It's not just football. It risks your entire
Athletic department.
I have a question. Don't make fun of me. What are the seniors doing for this season? Can this count as a red shirt for them?
Oh, they haven't really announced that quite yet.
The
Okay,
Big
good.
Ten is grossly incompetent. I think the Big Ten has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
No idea what they're doing. And so, no, there hasn't been anything released
Okay.
about it
Okay.
whatsoever. But they
Interesting.
can
should all be able to
practice
watch it.
20 hours a week
Now,
and
I-
do
Well,
drill
to your
work.
Now,
for 20
that's
hours
not
a week.
going to be. That's
to your
not going to
point,
be.
if the season doesn't start,
Yeah.
it's not a season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
So if the
technically-
season doesn't happen, it's no different than when you're playing college sports.
Yeah.
If you take off a year for whatever reason, it doesn't count.
Well, then do they take off academically as well? What if they graduate? Can they still play?
That
you
is-
can still
Yeah.
play.
That is
Yeah.
not entirely true. That is not entirely true. You have 5 years to complete 4 years of eligibility without a waiver.
Well, yeah, but you got
So,
an extra year.
however, with that in mind, it's not the conference's decision if these people can come back. It's not the conference. It's not the big. It's not. It's the NCAA's
These,
decision.
they have new recruits coming
Could I
in,
go
too.
back and play?
No, your clock started.
Hey, you call me old. Don't do that.
Well, no, it is the NCAA's call and their policies that would actually dictate if players can come back or get a free year of eligibility. So it's not actually the conferences that even get to decide
No, it's
that,
the NCAA,
as
but I
long
think
as
that
the
would
NCAA
be-
still exists.
Yeah.
Well, they will.
They'll put a policy in place for this, I'm sure. But I was just
I would think
wondering.
so. I mean, they did
you
last
would
year.
think so.
They
Yeah,
did. They
right?
did last year. They did so far for all of the spring sports that were canceled. They
Basketball,
can all
baseball.
return. They get a free year of eligibility.
Interesting. Okay.
So
All right, gang. So it gets up to me, and I'm going to go. We've talked about the Astros a lot, and we've talked about how there was no punishment for the sign stealing that went on, and that I've been out there saying if you're not cheating, you're not trying all the time. Zack Greinke decides that he's had enough, and his game is on, and he decides to tell everybody every pitch he's throwing before he throws it,
Good for him.
and still wins the game.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's
There's a great video of him going like this just before he pitches.
That's
Yeah.
so confidence, man.
Oh, then the players walk away from him after watching that was just like, you jerk.
Yeah.
And that I'm being very politically correct on that. I mean,
Yeah.
it was quiet. They said you could hear him talking back and forth to the catcher about what he wants to do. So there was no question what he was throwing, and they couldn't hit him.
with that in mind,
Pitching ninja.
Zack Greinke is up there with your Verlanders and your Scherzers and your Strasburgs that when he is on, doesn't matter if you know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't
mean,
matter.
oh, yeah.
He's that good.
Yeah.
He's that good.
But think
Yeah.
about that. Think about how once you know that after like 3 innings and you're not getting anywhere, That's even more in your head.
Oh, for sure.
You're now you own that team.
Oh, look at my profile.
I mean, that's the part that's amazing. You are now mentally owned.
He's got you.
Yeah,
he owns you. Yeah.
That is 9 other players who are almost got in the game who are just sitting there going, "Oh God."
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a mental game. It becomes
It is,
like a
yeah.
huge mental battle for
Oh
sure.
gosh, when you're in that box. I mean, we talk about a box in sports sometimes where you kind of corner yourself in and it's you in your head, man. It's like this game's done.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get out. Yeah.
so I think that's pitching performance. It was great.
But coming from the Astros, yeah.
And calling signs like, here, you don't have to steal them. I'll give them to you
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
I mean, and imagine what his coaches, the managers are going, you better win.
Does he have that
Yeah.
long wavy hair right now, or is it cut?
He cut. It used to be
Okay.
long. It used to be.
Yeah, he had a
real
great
long.
flow for a
Yeah, he
while.
God,
did.
yeah.
He
All
did.
right,
Beautiful.
so we're going to go from someone who showed some greatness to Seahawks rookie cornerback. I don't want to mess his name up. It looks like it's Kima Silverland. Was caught on video sneaking a woman into the team's overnight practice facilities where they were sleeping, and violating their bubble. And he wondered why he got caught.
And the best thing. This is my
How
favorite
did he
part.
get caught?
He got on video, but he got caught.
He was trying. He tried to dress her up as a
As a
Seahawks
player.
player.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably
At
my favorite
least
part
he
of the
put
story.
that much effort into it.
Yeah, but-
so how did he get caught though?
It was on video.
I mean-
But she probably looked like a man, right?
No, I think they stopped basically like they were on top of it. I think they saw him like security camera, him walking in. They were like, somebody go get your mans, like so that they
And you know that if there was another player out there who's sitting there going, well, you know what? There's 12 quarterbacks on the list.
Now, does she get in trouble? Does she get fined?
No.
She just gets kicked out.
Yeah, this is America.
I don't-
But Jeff Fisher, Hard Knocks, when he was with when they moved to LA, they went away, for a training camp, and his number one rule was no women. So Jeff Fisher, same thing, undrafted cornerback, a guy tried to sneak a woman into the dorm room, and Jeff Fisher cut him. This is way before COVID. So like Pete Carroll probably said no women, and no guests or anything. So I mean, he probably would have been cut regardless.
But you're a rookie.
And undrafted.
So this is now. This is your chance. We just talked about these college players coming up. What happens to them?
I know.
You landed on a team. You've got a chance to make it. We talked a couple weeks ago about the guy that crashed his car. How do you? And they've gone through those classes. The NFL gives them those classes. It says, hey, don't do anything stupid. Here's a listing of things that have been stupid that have been done by players before. Don't do this. And you sit there and go,
Yeah, it's worth it.
yeah, I mean,
No, it's
and,
wild.
I don't know how you recover from that.
You don't.
You don't.
So
Get on TikTok. I'm sure we'll see an account.
Yeah.
He'll be doing
if
some fun
TikTok
stuff.
is still around, I mean,
No, it will be. Don't worry.
know.
They just sponsored something in one of the stadiums in New York,
Well,
like a several $billion-dollar deal.
they
TikTok
gotta get bought by somebody in the United States.
Well,
so.
money speaks though. They're not going anywhere.
So I have an honorable mention, and I think you guys can appreciate my honorable mention. I don't think there's anything worse than being on a national television, as a baseball groundskeeper. You get there, they come to the stadium, they see this beautifully, immaculately done field, and things are great. The way that you cut the lines into it. Oh my God, look, there's a heart in the middle of the outfield, or these designs you can do with a lawnmower, and you get the props for that. But nothing overcomes the fact when you can't get the tarp on the field. And so I'm going to throw an honorable mention out to the Nationals grounds crew, who absolutely tried to get the tarp on the field, and I don't know how it got tangled up or not, but I think when you're in the middle of a rainstorm, everyone watching you, and even the announcers are going, ooh, that's not good.
Everyone who watched that, who works in baseball, immediately had a
They're all
there.
flashbacks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was saying,
flashbacks.
did you guys have
In there.
PTSD from that?
I've been
July
I've had-
4th, a couple years
I've
ago.
got you
had-
starting to twitch.
I've had two terrible experiences.
So what happens? I mean, you roll it up a certain way. There's got to be like a math.
It was a bad roll up that caused
We
that.
had one of the ropes that are normally rolled up just must have got sideways, and when you kept rolling, it locked
It
everything
did
into
the
place.
same thing. It like you couldn't untangle it, so if you went further, it made it worse, type of thing.
Look, it sucks, but it happens.
I mean,
It
yeah,
sucks when
I
it
mean, so
happens.
what's the worst tarp disaster you've ever had?
Oh, 4th of July, full stadium, complete sellout. Like 4th inning.
Yeah.
Had to put the tarp on, tie game. We knew it was going to be a short storm, so we knew that, get the tarp on, maybe an hour delay. The crowd will still hang out. It's 4th of July. We got fireworks coming up. Well, we got like two rolls out before we realized the tarp wasn't letting go of the roll. It was just rolling.
Yeah.
It was just rolling.
And it was just
And
it was
wasn't as
tangling.
easy as, oh, hey, go untie something. It was,
Yeah.
it
So
was
did
to
you
the
get what? You
point-
get some hefty trash bags and start putting on places.
No,
the game.
It was
It was
mud.
unmanageable.
It was
yeah.
mud. Yeah. Call
Unmanageable.
the game.
Yeah,
no.
had to call the game. But hey, we still shot fireworks.
We still shot fireworks,
there's fireworks at the end.
and everyone was like cheering us
Yeah.
on. Yeah, it was a disaster.
At least
Everyone was cheering us on. It was a disaster.
It was a disaster.
You never want to be recognized, whether they're clapping or booing, as a grounds crew.
Yeah.
Just FYI, you
Yeah.
never want to be recognized. So when he says people were cheering for us, they were out of sympathy.
they were laughing at you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, because it was pouring on us
Were
at
you
that
both
time.
part of that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Yep. And it was one of those things that
Now you're wet. And
soaked.
Yeah.
Now
I
you-
mean, soaked.
Everybody's mad at each other because they can't figure it out.
And it
Whose
was
fault is
Yeah,
it?
whose fault? I gotta blame somebody.
But there is
sucks.
there is a fold, like a way that you're supposed to
Oh
fold
yeah,
this tarp up.
of
right?
course, of course.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways to do it. Every team has their own system.
So if you bring in a new tarp guy, it could throw the whole thing off.
I mean, no, it really shouldn't.
no.
It really should. It really
No.
should. Even bringing in a new tarp guy, he would just tell you.
We
okay,
could all
this
go
is how
down
it
there right now, and it's as long as you, I mean, you just follow what everyone else
Yeah.
is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really. Even a new tarp guy, but it really shouldn't affect it.
I think this is how we should roll it. This
Yeah.
time. We're gonna roll it in triangles.
But as much as it sucks, it does happen. It just, it's not on national television at the minor league level.
Yeah.
So they get the spotlight on them.
We'll get you on the wall of shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's pretty cool. So we were gonna do Jeopardy. We don't have enough time for Jeopardy today, which is okay. But we do have a few other interesting topics that happened. We talked about the Capitals beforehand. About they obviously are gonna have to come from behind like they did last year. But I want to go to soccer.
Cool.
I want to talk about Dallas versus Nashville.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think it's interesting from a 30,000-foot view. First field game that had fans. Not NASCAR where you can't hear anything. And the team, they played the national anthem. The teams took a knee. A few people had their hands over their hearts. And they're in Texas, and the players didn't get the response they were looking for.
Yeah. So they were all like, I read some of the comments, and they were like, "It's very disappointing." It's that. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, what did you think that was going to happen? Everyone was going to cheer you on?
Yeah.
For you, like you're in Dallas. You're in Texas. Like, what do you think is going to happen? I'm sorry, but I mean, if you protest, that's fine. That is fine.
That's your deal.
That's your deal.
But realize other people are
The
going to
majority of sport fans, not necessarily soccer fans or basketball fans, but especially in football. I mean, if you're in Texas, but I mean, I was in at a Buffalo Bills game, and it was the day after Donald Trump said all those SOBs better stand for the anthem. So I was like, oh boy, here we go. So all the players knelt on that Sunday. And I was in Buffalo, New York, which is not a politically conservative town. I mean, it's very, very left. The place erupted in boos. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, what do you do? Just going to clap you?
But
Like,
I think it goes to the point that we're getting past the fact of the sport of the sport,
Right.
and that and I think they're going to maybe that's not the best way to.
But do you think people are hypersensitive because we're finally getting to play sports? Kind of like you just play the game.
But I think we've got to the point where I think people are saying to what you said, play the game. But I think it's just not. They're learning. It's not an appropriate way to get their point across, because it adds another layer of division that goes into it.
But then it becomes a cycle. So my whole thing is, I don't give a rip, whatever. I wouldn't do that. But whatever, if you want to do it. But like, if I become vocal and I get angry and this, then they're going to be more likely to do it. And then now we're talking about it. And then, like, that's the whole thing. I don't want to do it, fine, don't care. But you're not this big American hero for doing it.
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying?
I think that's what they expect.
Yeah,
I think that's what people expect by standing up, or the opposite of standing up, but.
And you have a freedom.
Everybody else has the same freedom to react however they want to your freedom.
And that's the unintended consequence that I noticed as you listen to comments after the game. Players saying that they're pissed because they got booed. This is our own home crowd.
Right.
Now you're looking at, it's a sport of soccer, so, we're not talking people who are 100% known in a community like some other sports players are. But they do good work in the community. Now, how does that affect that goes on? Now are you going to get booed just because? It's creating this whole second layer to a game that, is that really relevant to what you're there? You said they're paid a lot of money. Now is that in their head?
Yeah.
And what's going on? And I just I think they need to look at it. What is the best way for us really to be social warriors?
That's kind of my whole. You can do whatever you want. I literally cannot stress enough. I do not care, kneel, whatever. This is America. Do whatever you want. But my whole thing is that if your goal should be try to incite change and try to change in people's hearts. Clearly, you're doing the opposite.
Yeah, and that's
so. If you truly want to make a stand and make a change and be like, oh, I need to reflect, shouldn't it be the opposite of like trying to really piss people off and do something that clearly means a lot to a large amount of people? Now, you can say, well, no, the anthem is not about the military. You can say whatever you want, but clearly it's inciting something. A reaction, and not a positive reaction for the change that you want. So if you really want to make change, and really it's not really just protesting the original protest. That's the thing. I have completely think that everyone's lost sight of what Colin Kaepernick was doing. He was protesting police brutality. And then people started getting mad at Colin Kaepernick. So more players started kneeling because they were mad at the people that were mad at Colin Kaepernick. And then Trump got mad at people that were kneeling and protesting. And then everyone was kneeling.
Maybe one day we need to do the whole timeline of just.
It's a protest of a protest of a protest of a protest of the original protest.
Yeah, you're right.
And we're losing sight. We're not making change. We're just ticking people off.
We've created a divide.
We've created a divide.
Yeah.
And created a sub-issue that,
it was a good game too.
Yeah,
it should have been a celebration. First time fans were back in MLS.
The pre-game talk of the fans that were showing up and how they were there with the masks on and parents with their kids all excited about this. And then that's the other thing. I don't want to have to explain to my young son or my young daughter why they booing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because
that's when you bring up the chart and you're like, so
okay, well,
2006.
So it just I think players in a lot of the sports that are in the bubble that haven't seen how fans' reactions are going to go need to realize that it's not just limited to NASCAR about it's just a bunch of rednecks, that's how they're going to be. Now you're in the sport of soccer, where it's going to go. Realize that we have to find that middle ground, and I think that's the hard part. Speaking of people who can't find middle ground, Dan Snyder made his way back into the news again.
Okay, I haven't heard this.
So it seems that the pressure is now mounting from the minority owners of the team, and minority being the people with less stock than he, that they want him to sell the team. And the reporting was talking that one of the issues is that he is a drag now on the selling price. So he's dropping the selling price lower, and lower, and lower. But here was the interesting part.
So he's trying to sell it?
They are.
The other owners. So when you think about that, okay, if he were to sell it, who would be a legitimate player? Who would be someone they would consider selling it to? Names would come up would be Ted Leonsis and Monumental Sports, who own the Capitals and the Wizards and all the other things, or the Lerner family, and you go, okay, well, maybe they can come together. The name that was floated recently, Mark Cuban.
That's okay.
Nice.
That was my dark horse the whole time. He wants an NFL team.
Yeah.
He wants an NFL team, and he has wanted one.
So if anyone has the money,
Interesting.
has the ability to do it,
And also, too, I'm going to throw one out. Has the ability to come in and change a culture.
Oh, for sure.
has the ability. No, and I was going to say
That's the biggest.
Can change the culture. Has a way to cares about the fan experience.
That's what I'm saying. That's the big thing.
Thoroughly cares and is passionate about the team.
Yeah.
Hasn't meddled with his team. The meddling that he does is more
chest bumps on the sideline.
Yeah.
I love seeing him get
Yeah.
so excited with his team on the sideline. He's not making decisions, but he'd be the first to high five after a big play.
Thing about Mark Cuban is that he doesn't meddle in the basketball fair. So I think let's say Mark Cuban stepped in, he would keep Rivera, but he really is hands-on on the business side.
Yeah.
correct.
And he cares about his employees. He said that he is going to pay everyone. He's not going to let anyone go. He would pay without.
He does look like a happy
yeah. So
He's great.
he cares about the employees. He actually even came out and said that he was going to pay all the game day employees. I didn't think that was necessary, but I don't think these billion-dollar owners should have let go. Their front office staff.
What do you think his net worth is? We'll take 3 guesses. Net worth.
$2.5 billion.
Oh, more than that. $15 billion.
I think it's 6 point. It's like 6.5.
It's 4.3.
Dang. Well, I will also say this. I agree, Robbie. If he does come in, he's not going to mess with the football affairs,
Right.
which is what people really care for. But if there's one side, and honestly, Rivera right now, I'm sorry, not Rivera, Daniel Snyder right now, he needs to stop having his hand in the football side. And he needs somebody to step in on the business side. It's literally what Mark Cuban would come in and do. He's going to let the football run itself. He's going to hire a GM. He's going to, maybe even keep Rivera, which I still think it's a great hire.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean that was a great hire by Snyder. Let the football team build itself up, get better. But then also too, he is going to step in on the business side of things, which I think the Washington football team desperately needs. Their fans need that, and he's going to come in and he's going to make a lot of changes.
Well, do you think it's going to happen?
It would be cool.
I think that Dan Snyder is going to be like either like a Richard Nixon, where the entire NFL needs to come in and go, hey,
Panthers.
just to let you know, we have absolutely no intention of supporting you in what's going on. So like when Nixon was told by the whole Congress he's out, they're going to have to go in and say, you're an embarrassment to the league. Nobody cares.
That's what they did with the former. I don't even remember his name. Good thing I don't.
Well,
the former Panthers owner,
Richardson. Yeah. But the different thing for him is the selling of the Panthers team started the large price for all sports franchises.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
The ridiculous number that he got.
That's the thing. To buy the Redskins, it would be $5 billion.
Well,
the Panthers was like 2.5. The Panthers.
Who knows? What's the value that Dan Snyder has dropped it down to? His product. He has the ability to get out now, and he has enough money where it doesn't matter.
But it's his stubbornness.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
his pride,
Yeah.
and that's going to get in the way.
If somebody like a Cuban came in, though,
that would
he
be
would
a game changer.
aggressively make changes to the point where
It's getting me excited.
some people would even call him a shark.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look at you.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
crushed
full of
it.
yourself.
Crushed it.
Crushed
Oh,
it.
Maverick.
Yeah.
I have been a maverick,
The Nick
a maverick
Hall
of the
show.
sport.
Maverick Shark. I think you're saying it would get people excited.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you this place would sell out again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Without even worrying about without even worrying about an acquisition, a player acquisition.
The helmets are cute.
Well,
I know you don't like them.
I
You
think-
do.
I-
Me and Robbie agree with the helmets are cute.
I like the football team.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
like
think
to
it's
watch
the.
football
I
team.
think it's the.
I
I
don't
don't
mind
like
it.
the name.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only reason why they did that's because they didn't want to have a helmet that was worse looking than the Browns. So I mean, But I think that Mark Cuban would make.
But credit to Rivera, their running back that had all the talent in the world. He had injury issues. He got arrested last weekend for domestic abuse, and he cut him same day.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So
I'll tell you what, though, they have a stiff running back room though right now.
Oh yeah.
They have a stiff running back room. The
And
Redskins
Alex
do.
Smith was cleared to play.
Yeah.
So which is amazing.
Big things happening.
All right, we were going to play Jeopardy. We're not going to play Jeopardy, but we are going to do one little bit of Jeopardy. I wanted to do a section called Virginia Mascots.
Oh,
Okay, so I want to see how you guys do with this. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll start off with, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Mary Washington.
It's like a person, isn't it?
That she is a person, but the mascot for the school.
No, I'm saying the mascot.
Mary Washington, is that
University
Mary
of Mary
Washington?
University of Mary Washington.
It's a bear.
It is not a bear.
Colonels?
It's not a colonel. And you're from this town, so.
I've seen my parents.
Your
graduated.
parents?
I don't want to say that.
I'll give you.
I want to say something because it's a bird.
It's a bird.
Oh, nice.
I
It's an
want to
eagle.
say it, but I don't.
an
Yes,
eagle.
it
It
is.
is an
Eagle.
eagle. Yes, there you go.
Right,
It's an
right
eagle.
when you said bird, I was like, it's an eagle.
Because
Alright,
yes, it
alright.
has because we
Yeah.
have bald eagles all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
JMU. James
Oh,
Madison.
um,
I'll help you with a hint.
It's a bulldog.
No.
It is a dog, but their name is the.
Pip?
I know.
It's royalty.
French bulldog?
The Dukes.
Oh.
Yes.
So their mascot's like a
A dog.
Yeah.
Ferrum.
Oh.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
That's where Durante was gonna go. Is it a dog?
I'm gonna leave that one up for you to look since that.
Is it the Bulldogs?
No, it's not the Bulldogs. I had it.
When in doubt.
Shepherds.
No.
Man, I thought I got that
There's
right.
There's no school that has a shepherd, and I'm surprised. Those are, right? Is there a school that has a shepherd as their mascot?
Like a German Shepherd?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure someone has shepherds.
Yeah.
I have no clue. I have no idea.
It's not coming up.
Oh, they're the Panthers.
The Panthers.
They're the Fair and Panthers. It's a small D3 school. Yeah.
UVA.
Oh, they're the
Cavaliers.
Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Okay. VCU. Virginia Commonwealth University.
Yeah, that's down in Richmond, but it's.
Yeah, I knew it was in Richmond.
No.
Can you give us the first letter?
R.
The Raiders.
A. M.
Rams.
Rams. He goes, Rams.
Rams.
All right. Well, yeah. Congratulations, everybody.
We all
That
suck?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Y'all are from like Tennessee, so this is.
I
embarrassing for me.
thought you might do fairly well on that one.
Well,
So.
I knew them. I knew some of them. I did.
It was,
The Hokies,
Well, the big ones I knew.
Yeah.
The big ones I knew.
Mary Washington.
Mary Washington.
We
How
probably
bigger
should-
could that be?
No,
We
no,
should have
it's
all known Mary
I
Washington.
mean,
No,
you
but
should.
I've seen their logo and been up there. Yeah, both my parents. played
Right when you
basketball at
said
Mary Wash.
bird, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It clicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's more.
There's one last one to see if you guys get it right. The Fredericksburg Nationals.
Nationals.
Fredericksburg
Best-
Nationals.
Oh,
their
it's
mascot?
your weird
Gus.
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's only tattooed on it.
Show us the tattoo. Zoom in, Shando.
The funny part is the amount of time it took him to Fredericksburg.
You
Nationals.
said
What
Fredericksburg
college
Nationals?
is that?
Well, it wasn't actually mascots that we were doing. It's actually
Yeah.
the moniker.
Yeah,
So
that's
the
true.
moniker of the Fred Nats is the Nationals.
That's true, but we threw that out there. Good show, gang. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Everybody.
Overcoming
way to
the
go,
elements.
Way to go, Shandell, and keeping us live. Everyone, it's been a great show. We will see you next week here on the bench.
See y'all Friday. Friday.
Today's Friday.
Today is Friday.
So what happened, Randall?